Hello and welcome to this edition of the Time with Hime podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Cordes, joined by our superintendent, Mr. Hime.
Hey, glad to be here today. Due to a little remodeling, we're doing this on Monday this week instead of Friday, but we're getting it done. A lot of great things going on.
It's already November. Can you believe it?
Wow, November. Yes.
It's going to be quick.
Getting a little fall weather finally, a little cool. We hadn't had that first freeze. Remember last year we had that huge freeze in October.
And I'm glad we didn't have that this year.
Oh, I don't look good.
We have a lot of great things going on, to include an update on our COVID summary and some vaccines. Will you share what that looks like?
Is that not incredible? I think, what are we at? Two teachers and 2 students, or we have 4 positives out of 14,000 students and 2,500 employees or so. That's just incredible numbers. That's a shout out to our students, our staff, and everybody involved for social distancing, wearing masks, vaccinations, and things like that. So, thank you to all you people who are doing the things to keep us all safe.
And we're also preparing for our staff. We've actually surveyed them last week on whether they're going to get the third booster or the third shot or the booster, because we had some conversations.
The CDC opened up for everyone. And we had that conversation because if everyone starts going down there and taking it, getting a vaccine throughout the course of a day, it causes a lot of staggering. Well, and we know it's to the betterment of the district for our staff to stay vaccinated. Look at our COVID numbers. And most research shows teachers, because they're around so many people, have a higher likelihood of contracting COVID. So, 2, that means we're doing a great job. It also shout out to all of our teachers for getting vaccinated. So the thought is, last year it was a great success to have a virtual day where it was a work day for the teachers, where students logged on throughout the day to get work from their teachers, in order for teachers to all get vaccinated on one day and setting up a vaccination clinic. So we're looking at possibly doing that, and November 19th seems the best day out there with working with the health department.
The Friday right before Thanksgiving.
Yes, and looking with the health department and the CDC and seeing what happens. We would like to set that up for that day. Now, the key to that gets to be, we're looking at students 5 through 11. That's being improved rapidly in what those suggestions are quickly being relaxed, and they're recommending that. So we also want to look at how many sites there's students that want it. Obviously, parents have to be present for the 5 to 11. They're doing paperwork for them. But, again, we want to offer those things for parents. We've said this all along. We don't make medical decisions for parents. That's a personal choice whether you get vaccinated. We sure don't want to get into the politics about whether you should or shouldn't. We've never talked about mandating vaccination for employees, for sure not students. So, again, we would like to create those opportunities where our students and staff can get vaccinated. So possibly we create a virtual day where parents can come to a couple locations and get vaccinated, or possibly even, we're just looking, we're putting out surveys, looking at what our numbers are, how many are interested, and we'll try to move on that quickly, depending on the results.
And we will do that for the families as well. We'll send out a survey if that's something you guys want to do. If not, then you'll just put no out there. Thank you for the COVID summary. Now, let's go on to what's happening Thursday. We have a busy day with community forums.
Wow, we have communities forums all over the community. We have some that are specific to the people in that group. I know that first thing in the morning, they're going to meet with the district leadership team. We have another time specifically just for principals. We've already had teacher times for all the teachers. Teachers, if you've missed it, there's some other open opportunities. Go ahead and read those.
That's going to be at 9:15 at Douglas. And I know that's not everybody can go there, but our support staff that are able, our cooks, our custodians, our maintenance teams, they can go at 9:15. And then the 6 o'clock at night at all 3 high schools. So that's open to the general public. You guys are welcome to come and listen and participate in the forum. And that's in place of the survey if they didn't fill out the survey.
Yeah, and the forum is open at 6 o'clock, and that's for anybody in the community who wants to come and take part in that community forum.
And 10 o'clock on Fort Sill. We do have that one, 10 a.m.
10 o'clock at Fort Sill. Great shout out to Fort Sill for letting us use their facilities and inviting their people. Again, the more data we get, the better the results. And we are wanting this to be a community plan that's teachers, staff, parents, even students, and come up with a plan moving forward of what we want Lawton Public Schools to look like 5 years from now, and even move further into the future. So we're very excited about this. There's going to be a lot of work going into it, but very important that you get involved, show up to a forum. And again, that's 6 o'clock at all 3 high schools if you have not already taken part in a forum. And obviously, the survey is closed, but hopefully most of you did the survey as well.
And if you're looking for that information, it is on our website under the Community Survey tab on the homepage. We've put it on the social medias, and you can always email us, and we'll give you that later on in the podcast.
info at lawtonpf.org.
Yes, sir. That's it. What else do we have going on? We've got some celebrations. We've had some great, exciting
football
things.
Season's wrapping up down to the stretch. Lawton High and Lawton Eisenhower have played some really good football games this year. I've really enjoyed it. It's one thing, as a former football coach, I really like the sports network that you can watch them on TV. Numerous times this year I've had both games on and 2 games on at one time. Big game Friday night, Ardmore at Cameron Stadium playing Lawton Mac for the district championship. Very excited for them moving forward. Saturday, I was at Oklahoma City, Edmond, Santa Fe. We had cross country. Every school was recommended.
They were there, recognized, and they were attended. Yes,
yeah, represented. Every school had different representatives there running in the state cross country meet, and I think there were some PRs, and I'm very excited.
Madison too was there. Madison Mueller. Not there, but we received some great news about her.
National champion. What was she getting? National
Agri-Science project. She took first in the nation.
That's awesome.
Great.
#1 in the nation. That's just superstar status. Got lots of superstars in our district and a lot of great things going on. We don't want to just concentrate on specific things, but very excited about those. And again, teacher staff that were responsible for those, all the coaches, students that are hardworking, and again, extracurricular activities, we want to win and be successful, but we also want a high level of participation. I know I saw something about a band group took first place. I think it was somebody from Eisenhower, so I'm kind of looking at some of those things that come up on my social media feed. So again, a lot of you out there are doing great things, and just a shout out to all of you.
Well, and actually, as we came into our podcast this morning, we had a student playing in the music room. The piano just had a few minutes to play and was incredible. So look out for his next debut. We're going to highlight him in our next video. And Mr. Hime, we do have the Impact Aid cards that went out last week. Will you remind our families what that means for our district?
Yeah, short deal is school districts, a lot of our funding comes from ad valorem taxes, which is the property taxes. A lot of people pay it, a lot of out there. Well, your federal properties they're not taxed. They don't pay income taxes on them because the federal government owns them. So we get what they call a PILT, a payment in lieu of taxes for those taxes we don't get to collect on that property. So that's the impact aid. So we have to gather the paperwork, find out how many students are involved, how many parents are involved. And it does take a lot of work, but it is a lot of money to our district. It's about $6 million a year. They say if we got fully funded, it'd be around $12 million a year. So it's very important that everybody who lives on federal property turns that in, because those forms generate money. And again, that money helps us buy technology. It helps us create these opportunities for our students. And that's what we want to continue to do moving forward, is create opportunities and not roadblocks for our students.
Lives and works on, correct?
Yes,
on federal and
yep,
tribal.
live or work on. Everybody should fill it out, because I think every student gets it. Every student should fill it out just to make sure that they don't qualify.
Now, what else would you like to celebrate before
November 4th.
Yes.
But we talked about the strategic plan, but we also have members of one of our own local community members. Mike Brown is on the state career tech board. So he's invited. He's been to the career tech, talked about Freedom Elementary, the great things going there, talked about our new middle school at Eisenhower. He's talked about that at the state career tech board meetings. He's also talked about our maker spaces and our LTAP program and the Life Ready Center. So that day, there's going to be a contingency from the State Career Tech Board come down to visit those things and celebrate. And they're going to go to 3 or 4 sites and get to see some of the great things our teachers and staff are doing across the district. And it's going to be a great shout-out. I'm excited to just kind of follow along and listen to our principals and other staff members talk about the great things we have going on and celebrate that with people outside of the Lawton area statewide.
Well, there's a lot of stuff packed into this week, and then next week, as a reminder, because we're doing this early, Thursday we have Veterans Day, and so
Yes.
we will be celebrating our veterans. We look out for videos then, and then also on Friday is a remote day.
Yes, Friday's a remote day. That's a day
On the 12th.
On the 12th, and that's a day where our staff works from home. Now, again, our certified teachers and things work from home that day remotely. Now, if you're an hourly employee and different people, make sure you get with your supervisor and look at your contract and make sure that's not a contracted day for you, because we have people that work different situations, so that's important to understand, is it a contracted day or not? But again, it's a remote day. We really want to work on those days, so if we get a big ice storm or
water lines,
different things happen. We talk about this a lot as a district and throughout the leadership I talk to and the people I deal with. We never want to be where we were at on March 13th, 2020 when it was over. And we had to go home, and we stayed home, and we were not prepared to properly educate our students. And this was a statewide issue, and our teachers at Lawton did a great job. But we want to have them better prepared and make sure they have the resources and the training they need, so if we ever have remote days, we can continue that education the best we can.
And our students will be comfortable with that format as well.
And again, this is for parents to know, because we provide every parent should have a device. Every student, we have Wi-Fi devices for those that need it. So those are things that we get to work through, and parents will get to work through on those days.
Mr. Hime, as we end our podcast, will you give them our email address and website?
It's lawtonps.org. lawtonps.org is the website. info@lawtonps.org is our email address. Again, we always want you, if you got questions, thoughts, or comments, we look through those and we try to answer them on this podcast. The purpose of the podcast is we talk about it. We have 27, 28 buildings. If you take in some of the administrative buildings and so forth, there's 30 buildings. If I spend a day in each building, there's only 20 work days in a month, so that means it takes me 3 months to get to every building twice. And I look up and say, man, I've only been there once or twice, and you get to thinking, I've got other things I have to do. I wish I could spend more time in buildings and developing more relationships and talking to you as a teacher. And if that way there you can share your concerns. And if you got something great you want us to celebrate, send it in to info@lawtonps.org, because we're looking for those celebrations. And we know there's so many of you out there doing great things. Students, parents, teachers and staff, all of you. We got some awesome things going on, so please share them. And again, thanks very much.
Yes, until next time, you guys have a wonderful week, because we're Monday here, and then we're going to head into the weekend. Until then, Mr. Hime, thank you very much. Stay well, make positive impacts, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.